Alright guys, to start your dragon, you're going to need 10 of these. They're a little bit over 2 feet long. You're going to need 2 doubled up, about, I'd say a little over 3 feet. You're going to need 10 of these, which are about the same length as those. And you're just going to go right over left with them, make a loop. And I already have them laid off to the side here. So you're going to need a couple tools and your drill. Also for this one, you're going to need your bucket of scrap. So I just laid it off to the side, and last but not least, 4 strands about that same length. We're going to need these for later, so set these way off to the side along with these ones. Alright, let's get started. Now you're just going to take 6. Yeah, you heard me, 6, because for this one, as opposed to all the other animals, you're going to do, 2 separate bellies, or, a back and a belly for this dragon. So I'm going 6 loop sides down. Alright, that's 6. Now I'm going to flip it over, just so it kind of keeps these pressed down. And I'm going to go loop side down again. Alright, and then you can even use that same tool trick if you want. Get them tight. Same on this side. Just get them tight. Alright. Now I hope I don't confuse you here. So just take it one step at a time. It's a lot easier than it looks through the camera. I think the camera's the hardest part. So your very bottommost, it's coming out to the right on these. You can see from how the loops go. Anyway, just start wrapping. And you're going to go, don't just end there, keep that wrap going the full way. And then just keep that crisscross pattern going over the full body, even these 4 that are going the other way. Now that you've done those 6, flip your guy over, and then these 4 you're going to do the same thing. So, and this one's coming out the same way. So start wrapping. Now that you have that done, your dragon has a belly right here and a back right here, if you can imagine that. So this will be its back legs, the one with the 6 strands, because it'll give it a beefier hind leg than this 4 for the front leg. So I'm just going to stick this in my drill. Believe it or not, it does work if you just get it right in there and get it really tight, even though it's a bunch of strands. Okay, now that you're done with that, if you can imagine this, there you go. Your dragon's belly is up front, right here, and its back is going to be the one with the most strands. And your legs, you're just going to bend them down eventually, but we'll get to the wings because it's easier to leave them flat for this part. So make sure you got some room, and these are your like 3 feet stranded, double stranded pieces, and you're just going to put them together and lay them right on top of your dragon, like that. So then we're going to take one of those really long pieces that I told you to put off to the side, and I'll pinch these together right there, and then get a good loop started. It's a little difficult to do on camera, but I'll get it done. There we go. Now that you have it started, wrap it tightly all the way up, probably about that far. So, and I'm going to go off camera for a second because you can't, I have no room. Let's finish up that strand. Or just cut it off right there. Okay. Now your dragon's starting to look a little bit like something. Now, it's time to shape the wings, which is also somewhat of a difficult task to show you on camera. So, in order to do that, I'm going to bend these legs down this way out of my way, and put some stuff off to the side. Okay. Shaping the wings isn't as hard as you think. You just bend up a little bit. Okay. Now, I don't know, put like 4 fingers length, whatever you want, and bend that over. Okay. And then you could pinch them with your tool. Get them semi, looking. Now that you have that, and they're fairly evenly matched, bend them kind of back out a little bit, and then give it kind of a waved look. So if you could see this right here, about here at the end of, a little bit towards the end of where this tail is going to stick out, that's where I'm going to pinch it right here and fold these back towards itself. Okay, get that right there. And then squeeze these. Okay, now that you got it pretty sharp looking, bend these out a little bit. Okay, now you can give them any shape you want, but basically you just want it to have that cool dragon look. Now that I kind of have my wings shaped how I want them to be for the camera, I'm going to spread the legs back. Wow. Okay. So you should have something that looks like this. Okay, now pinch it with one hand if you can, and take one of these strands. I go with the longest one, and then just start wrapping these two around the tail. and this can be a little tricky, but just hold it together as best you can and then start making your loops. Just use the whole strand. Now that your wings are done, you can spread them out, really do whatever you want to with them. They can move around a little bit, you know. And what I'm going to do is the two ends of your stranded that are coming out here, I'm just going to bend them up and cut them. Okay, now that you have your wings secure and the ends cut off, all you're going to do is, I like to spread my wings out for this so you have room. But you take the two very most strands up top and, you know, just go about that high up. It's probably a few inches, however high you want them really, and then form them into a kind of a spike. And you can make these as sharp as you want to, or whatever. Okay? Now that those are done, you know, I'm going to pinch them a little bit more. I like to look better. So, there you go. Now pinch those down and pick a strand and start your loop. Okay, now get it nice and tight. Okay, now you can see the extra kind of sticking out right there. So I cut it off, and that one's kind of buried in there, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now I'm just going to do the same thing, except make this one a little bit smaller. Okay, now same thing, just wrap it up. Alright, now what I like to do, and you can go anywhere with this, but what I like to do is I like to take one strand, throw it off to the side, take the other strand, throw it off to the side, and kind of bend them both about right there. And then I bend them all the way in. Now from here you're left with 3, as you can see. So what I do is just cheat a little bit and take an extra piece of this scrap and wrap one side. Just a couple times, but just getting that loop started is the hardest part. I have about 4 wraps there, so I'm just gonna cut those off and then bend the tips down as much as possible.